A hearty welcome to today's chemistry session. Today we will have the topic how to balance chemical equations. So if you are interested in chemistry, this is the first skill you should possess. That means you should know how to write a balanced chemical equation. So I will tell you in 3 simple steps how can you write a well balanced chemical equation. You see here, the first step is count each type of atoms on either side of equation. You know, any chemical equation should have 2 sides. That means one is the reactant side and the other is the product side. It can be left hand side or right hand side. So the reactant side and the product side it will have. So you should know which are the type of atoms present in that. For example, I am taking the formation of ammonia, this equation. In this, N2 plus H2 gives NH3. So here we have 2 type of atoms. Only for this whole equation we have only 2 type of atoms. One is nitrogen atom and the other one is hydrogen atom. Here also in the product side also ammonia containing only nitrogen and hydrogen. So we write here nitrogen. How many atoms are present? 2 are present there. So it is written 2. And hydrogen atoms, then written hydrogen. How many hydrogen atoms are present? 2. So I have written 2 here. Then in the product side, ammonia is having nitrogen and hydrogen. One nitrogen is only 1 here and hydrogen is 3 here. So we have counted each type of atoms on either side of the equation and we have written it. Now the second step, coming to the second step, you should be able to identify the coefficients and the subscripts. So what is a coefficient or what are coefficients? Coefficients are those numbers that are present in front of the atoms. That means here in front of one atom, what is present here? In front of each type of atom in the equation, what is present? That is known as coefficient. If nothing is written there or nothing is shown there, we should assume that the coefficient value is 1. In each case, the coefficient value is 1. That's what we should assume. And what is a subscript? Subscript is that those numbers or values appear after the atom. You know what is a subscript. Here this is the subscript. For nitrogen 2 is the subscript. For hydrogen again 2 is the subscript. And for nitrogen here there is no subscript shown. That means we should assume that its subscript value is 1. And here the subscript is 3. Okay, so you could recognize which is the coefficient and which is the subscript. Now coming to the third step, that is the golden rule in balancing the equation. You can change only the coefficients. You cannot touch the subscripts. You cannot change the subscripts, but you can change only the coefficients. So which are the coefficients present here? This is the coefficient and this is the coefficient and this is the coefficient. That you can change, but you cannot change the subscripts. These subscripts you cannot change, but you can change those coefficients present. Okay, so these are the 3 rules. Now we will see, we'll take the example of this first equation itself and we will see. So we will see one example. See here, we have already told a nitrogen react with hydrogen to form ammonia. That is the reaction. And you know that nitrogen it is 2 here, hydrogen it is 2 here, and in ammonia nitrogen is only 1 here and hydrogen is 3 here. Now we see, here we have 2 hydrogen and here we have only 1 nitrogen. So we should adjust this value first and we can change only the coefficients. Presently the coefficient is 1 here. So I am changing it into 2. So it becomes 2 nitrogen. So 1 into 2, it becomes 2. Then when I have changed this 2, since this is the product, this 2 coefficient is common for nitrogen and for hydrogen. So the value of hydrogen also changes accordingly. So 3 into 2, it becomes 6. So in the product side, now we have 2 nitrogen and 6 hydrogen. Look here. In the reactant side we have 2 nitrogen. So nitrogen is balanced. Number of nitrogen atoms are same on either side. Now hydrogen, in the product side it is 6 and in the reactant side it is only 2. So we have to adjust the value. So I will put 3 here. So you will get 3 into 2, 6. So the equation is now balanced. 2 nitrogen, 6 hydrogen. Here 2 into 1, 2 nitrogen and 6 hydrogen. So the equation is balanced. So you will get the balanced equation. N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. This is the balanced equation. Okay. We will see another example. We will take the example of formation of water. We will see H2 plus O2 gives H2O. This is the equation for the formation of water. So the first step in the balancing of equation is to count the total number of each type of atoms present in either side of the equation. Now here in the reactant side we have 2 type of atoms present. One is hydrogen and the other one is oxygen. Of course in the product side also the same 2 type of atoms present. One is hydrogen and the other one is oxygen. So here we'll see the count. We'll count the number of atoms present on for each type of atom. See here hydrogen we have 2 here and coefficient is 1. Now here oxygen also we have 2, coefficient is 1. And now here hydrogen we have 2 and oxygen we have only 1. So we should adjust the value of oxygen. Oxygen we have 2 here and we have only 1 here. So I am making it into 2. So 1 into 2 is equal to 2. I cannot put this 2 here because it is a product, a single entity. So I have changed the coefficient common for hydrogen and oxygen. So what happened? Here the value of hydrogen also changed in that process. So 2 into 2 it becomes 4. Okay. Now here you see we have only 2 hydrogen here. Oxygen is okay, it is balanced. Here we have 2 oxygen, here also we have 2 oxygen. But we have only 2 hydrogen here in the reactant side, but we have 4 hydrogen in the product side. So I should make it also 4. So I'll change this coefficient value into 2. So 2 into 2, this also will become 4. So hydrogen is also balanced and oxygen is also balanced. So we'll get the balanced equation, balanced chemical equation for the formation of water. 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. This is the balanced equation for the chemical reaction. We'll see one more example. Now we'll write another equation. S8 sulfur plus O2 gives SO2. So the first step in balancing the chemical equation is to count the total number of each type of atoms that are present in the chemical equation. In the reactant side we have 2 type of atoms. One is sulfur and the other one is oxygen. Of course in the product side also same type of atoms, sulfur and oxygen. In the reactant side we have 8 sulfur atoms and we have 2 oxygen atoms. In the product side we have only 1 sulfur atom, so 1, and oxygen atom 2. Now we should make this sulfur equal in number. So I will add 1 8 here in order to make it 8 sulfur atoms. So 1 into 8, it becomes 8. Since it is a common entity, the product. So this 8 is common for oxygen and sulfur. So the value of oxygen changes. 2 into 8, it becomes 16. Now I should change here. Sulfur is already balanced. On both sides you got 8. And the oxygen, now here it is 8 into 2, 16. But here only 2. So in order to make it also 16, I will add 8 here. So 2 into 8 will get 16. So both the atoms are balanced on either side. 8 sulfur atoms and 16 oxygen atoms. Here also 8 sulfur atoms and 16. 8 into 2, 16 oxygen atoms. So we got the balanced equation. Sorry. S8 plus 8O2 gives 8SO2. This is the balanced equation for the given chemical reaction. Okay. I hope you have understood. And then coming to the next step, some special cases are there. When coming to the fourth step, I will introduce another special case. In the case of polyatomic ions. In that case, what, for example, I will give you CaSO4 plus CaSO4 plus NaNO3 gives CaNO3 twice plus Na2SO4. So we will write the type of atoms, total number of different types of atoms present in this equation. Here it is calcium Ca, that's only 1. And here we have some polyatomic ions like SO4, NO3. These are charged chemical species. SO4 we will write as SO4 2 minus. So they are charged chemical species containing 2 or more atoms which are covalently bonded, and that can be considered as a single entity. So these polyatomic ions should be considered as a single entity. So here SO4 as a whole will consider as 1. SO4 as a single entity, that is only 1. So we will consider as 1. We will have only 1. Now sodium we have Na, that's only 1. And NO3 also should be considered as a single entity. NO3 also only 1 here. In the product side we have Ca, same type of atoms will be present in the product side also. Ca we have 1, only 1. NO3 we have 2 here. SO4 we have, we will write in this order. So SO4 we have only 1 there. Na we have 2 here, see 2 here. And then NO3 we have, this is also a single entity, we have 2 here. Now see here calcium 1 here on both the sides, so it is okay. SO4 also on both sides we have 1, so it's okay. Na we have 1 in the reactant side but 2 in the product side. So I should make it 2 in the reactant side also. Product side it's already 2. So I should make it in the reactant side also 2. So 1 into 2 it becomes 2. So sodium is balanced. Now NO3, during that process, this is a single entity, NaNO3. So this 2 is common for both. So Na3 also became 1 into 2, 2. So these also balanced. So you will get the final equation. You see here calcium 1 here and the product side also 1. Okay. Sulfate ion is SO4 is only 1 in the reactant side and in the product side also it is only 1. Sodium is 2 in the reactant. 2 atoms are present in the reactant side. In the same way in the product side also 2 atoms are present. NO3 as a single entity we have 2 here and here also we have 2. So the equation is balanced. So this is the balanced chemical equation for this particular chemical equation given. So this polyatomic ions we should consider as a single entity. That is the special case. I hope you have understood whatever we have explained. You learned to balance the given chemical equation. So this is all for today's session. Thank you. See you again.